Hello again, fellow RC enthusiasts. In this video, I'm going to be upgrading the FPV system on my 12 scale HEMTT by adding a camera switching module and an additional 360 rotating camera in the back so we can kind of keep an eye on things. I'm going to show you what it does so far, and then we'll get into the upgrades. Just like on my 16 scale, we've got the driver cam that acts as the main FPV view. We've got the headlights. Let's see if you can see that. You can see you got a headlight indicator from the inside to let you know when the lights are off and on, as well as a light that indicates when your dome lights are on, that you can see here. Hopefully I'm not blinding you. You can see that turning off and on here in the monitor. And then for additional S&Gs, we got the crane. Oh, sorry, rollout. Alright, we got our Valaverse guys in there too. But we've got the crane. Okay, got the indicator light. Now the boom is extremely slow, so I'm not going to bother extending that, but you can see that it does work, and actually you can articulate it. Whoops, as long as you don't do stuff like that well enough. To get cargo right into the bag. Okay, so there we have that. Okay, now the goodies for this are stored in here. We're gonna let this down. We've got most of the good stuff in here. So there we have, actually that Trespit receiver is there solely to run the crane. The receiver that's actually running the truck itself is deep in there. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this open so we can see what's going on, and then we're gonna splice this module in here and get that rear camera mounted. Okay, welcome to Exploded View. Hopefully we'll be able to see what's going on here a little bit more in depthly, but we've got some switches that, when you can see that blue light coming on there, basically this cell is tied together in one of those harnesses, kind of like what I did with the 16 scale, and it's supplying power to your transmitter as well as to this receiver when I turn that on. Now this receiver is here solely, like I said earlier, to operate this crane. The crane itself has a microcontroller inside that communicates solely with their receiver, and actually not in any of it. It has to specifically be the 8 channel. You can't even use their 16 channel. So I've been unable to defeat that. So rather than tear this thing apart, I piggybacked it off of the Fly Sky, and then I just run power, which is more than enough. The 2-cell power supply is more than enough to run the crane and the transmitter. But the switches that you see, those blue lights turning off and on, are what allow independent use of those two functions. Now what we're interested in are going to be these wires right here. They're coming in from the driver cam in the cab, of course, obviously going to the receiver. We want to create a splice, and we're going to put this module in between there. We're going to run a 3-pin connector to the Fly Sky receiver so that we can control the module, and then we're going to run the primary camera onto one of the connectors, add an additional connector to the rear camera, and then go ahead and reconnect the outgoing wires to the transmitter. So same sort of thing. This shows where you can, you know, basically transfer the same concept of, you know, running different items and things off of these fly sky receivers in different scales. All right. Okay. Let's go to the mat. Okay, we're back. As you can see, we have our module chip spliced in to the system here. I kind of like it. This one comes with a indicator light to let you know that you're receiving the control voltage from the receiver. Incidentally, there's fly sky receiver. You can see all 10 channels are now in use. Okay, our chip here, we have the original line in from the camera that's in the driver's seat. We've got that connected to the camera input for camera 1. We've got a line in from the rear camera under the steel plate, loop to loop, and that's going to camera spot 3. Actually 2 for right now will just lay bare. If I ever want to add another camera, it's as simple as sliding the connection on, and that's it. So let's power it up here. Okay. Alright. Once again, we have our power supply for these 2 rear units. They're split between these switches. This one is, of course, powering the transmitter. We can see that's on. Incidentally, in this little window, the transmitter is going to continually display the band that it's transmitting on, the channel, and then the frequency strength that it's on. So showing F41, so that's band F, channel 4, and probably 25 watts transmitting power. Okay, and then over here on our other switch, sending power to this truss bit receiver that I so despise, but it is here to run the crane. It's getting power. And let's see here. Crane's craning. Let's see. Rear servo is serving. Okay, I'm gonna get this thing put back together, and we will see what the camera footage looks like. Okay, decided to just bring it out to the park, test everything out. I did make one error in that the servo that I put in the camera module that I thought was 360 degrees is not. So I'll have to modify that once I get home. But I didn't want to waste the day, so I thought we'd come out here and take it for a spin. So here we go. Good crane operation there.